All right, welcome back, guys. I got a comment about the door lock switch assembly. You know, little disappointment. Didn't do a little troubleshooting. Maybe we could repair it. Cold solder joint. Maybe bad switch. Maybe a broken LAN, bad cap, etc. All right. I actually did look at this thing. I took it apart. I didn't put it in the previous video. I'm trying to keep the video short. All right. So let's open it up. Let me show you what we got. All right. Take a screwdriver, pry the tabs. There we got it, right? Let's take this out. Let's take it a little bit closer. Okay. Now, everything on this here board is surface mount technology. Now, this stuff is not meant to be, basically, in my opinion, be repaired by human hands. Robots put all this stuff in. A lot of these components, we don't even know what the resistor value is. Some of these things are not even marked, okay? Capacitors, transistors, we have an integrated circuit, okay? Now, I have a magnifying glass that's probably about a foot in diameter, has a fluorescent light. I scanned across here, looking at components, looking at some of the numbers that's on some of these parts, and you know, if you got a transistor, it's got 33 on it, does not mean a thing to me. I do not know what that number is. How do we know what the transistor number is? What if we could check it? Is it NPN, PNP, MOSFET? I have no idea. Now, what I will do is I will look to see if I see anything obvious. All right. So, in fact, I hooked up the supply volts here. All right, to a power supply. I monitored the data lines, and I was flexing the board. So if I got a crack in here, maybe I can get some kind of response. No response at all. Okay. Okay, so I can look, and if there's a bad solder connection, I can look at that, and that will show up. Nothing happened there. All right, so okay, now we'll look at some solder joints. Now, I mean, look at this stuff. This stuff is so tiny. The solder joints are just incredibly small. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at the back side. All right, we got a little silicone rubber here. Let's pull them off. Okay. Oh. Now this is where the switches are made. All right. Now if we got a bad switch here, you know, these are all inputs. Okay, that's not going to keep this whole thing from working. All right. Now we can change the bulbs out. You got an LED. We got 3 incandescent bulbs here. We can take those out by turning these here. Okay, but that's not our problem. All right. Now, there's our landings, all the lands that's inside on this thing, all right? Do you see there's not a lot of solder joints back here? Mm-hmm. I don't see any. I see 2 right here for this here shield that goes over top of this here microcontroller. What are you going to do if the microcontroller is bad? Do we have the program? Do I have the equipment? Do I have the program? No. So I'm not going to waste my time too much looking at this thing, spending a half a day. We don't have a diagram. And in my idea, what I look at this, if I can't see something obvious, I'm not wasting my time on it. So it's junk. It's going. All right, so you could say, well, you could go to the junkyard. Well, you could go to the junkyard, but have you been out there to see junkyards, what they got? Look at doors. Most of the time, they're going to be grabbing out stuff that's easy to get. So if you're lucky to find one of these here door switch assemblies, you can count yourself lucky. Is it going to work? I don't know. You want to waste the time? Go out there to find one, put it in. Works? Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, you might get lucky. So it doesn't work. Let's go to another junkyard. So that's why I say I'm not going to waste a lot of time with something that's surface mount technology. Now, if the stuff was bigger, we had discrete components, we had resistors in here where we could read the color values, transistors, we had numbers on them, you know, might spend a little bit more time, but even then, for the most part, I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking at some electronics here. PCMs, body control modules. If you look inside, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get surface mount technology. In my opinion, this stuff is not made to be troubleshooted, you know, because the stuff is so small, you know. And yes, you could get in there if you really wanted to and look under a magnifying glass and try to unsolder stuff and checking stuff, but in my view of this, it's a waste of time. spend the money, buy a new one, and you know, be done with it. So I hope that answered your question. So I did take a look at it, but just to save time on the video, I just didn't ever put it in there. So hopefully that answers some of your comments that you had, and also maybe. Oh, by the way, the green sports car, you should already be familiar with that. That is the Volkswagen Jetta over there. So anyway, appreciate your comments and your questions. So hopefully that answered your questions and comments, and maybe too some other people out there might be wondering, you know, the same thing. So anyway, it's just a little video to show you what's inside this thing. Anyway, you guys take care and see you in the next video.